all the way up, all the way up. I need all the energy, I need all the love. Are you guys excited?
Very well.
Oh, voice that launched 1,000 ships. Oh, sir, have you had a wonderful weekend here in Boston?
This has been great.
I love it.
But I'm not a stranger to Boston.
Oh, okay.
My dad was a Bostonian. He went to Boston University.
So this is kind of a coming home for you. I like that. I like that. Do you have any favorite places or spaces that you get to visit when you're here?
Well, I'm looking forward to going to the Union Oyster.
Yes. Let's eat up some lobster. Some lobster. You gotta get some lobster and some chowder. I got some chowder. You gotta get some chowder right here. I love it. I absolutely love it. There is a character, sir, that you have brought to life and embodied for all of us, and I think it goes without saying that Optimus Prime is the best Transformer of all time. Can I get a yes?
Yeah.
But the story of how we get Optimus Prime is super important, and I know it's personal to you. If you don't mind, tell us where the voice of Optimus Prime comes from.
Victor, this is a story that has gone pretty much around the globe for a while now. And I remember when I first told it, it was a question about the audition for Optimus Prime when the Transformers first came out. And I was living with my brother Larry at the time. Larry was an officer in the Marine Corps, captain of K Company, 3rd Battalion, 5th Marines, a fighting Marine in Vietnam. As a lieutenant, he received the Bronze Star with V, of course, second Purple Hearts. Lost a lot of men in some very heavy skirmishes, one in particular, which was called Operation Hastings. And when he came back from Vietnam, he was a different person, like most veterans are.
Of course, of course.
They've seen something that normal humans don't see. And there's a strength there. When we were sharing an apartment, I asked if I could borrow the car. I had to go to an audition. He said, Peter, what's the audition for? I said, for a truck. It's going to be a truck. I said, yeah, Larry, but he's a hero truck. And his face just took on this silent kind of authority.
Of course.
And his voice got a little deeper. He said, Peter, if you're going to be a hero truck, be a real hero. Don't be one of these Hollywood show-offs pretending he's a tough guy, yelling and screaming and all that phony stuff. Be strong enough to be gentle. And that hit me. And I looked at the character sketch when I got there, and it said, my name is Optimus Prime, leader of the Autobots from the planet Cybertron. Well, I can only hear my brother Larry. I'll tell you something. His voice just came out. I love that. I felt like I could have said, my name is Larry Cullen, K Company, 3rd Battalion, 5th Marines. And I came out the other way with my name is Optimus Prime. And 3 weeks later, I found that I got it.
Of course, of course. Make some noise for that. First and foremost, we want to show the love and sincerity and thanks for your brother's service. That is truly appreciated. is even greater. That is something that is powerful beyond words. It's amazing.
Yeah, and it's an honor. It really is. It's an honor role.
Of course, of course. I see what you did there. Roll out. Now, were you always interested in acting? Was that always something that you wanted to do?
Well, it must have been, because there's nothing else I could do.
I don't know about that now. You're a talented man.
Well, I must admit, I had all kinds of aspirations when I was younger. I even considered taking up agriculture.
Really?
I did, yeah. I worked on a farm several summers. But schooling really wasn't my care. You know, I got into more trouble than got into books.
Okay, that's good. That's good.
I was always trying to make people laugh. And I find that being an entertainer, you know, as I grew older, I studied theater, so I became an actor full-time after that. But quite honestly, I don't think I never went to college. I went to theater school, or high school. And I didn't really like school. I hated school.
How many folks in the audience don't like school?
Mother, sister. I had more fun making people laugh. You know, I always got in trouble for it. I mean, they would always say, go and stay after school, you know. And I said, you know, might as well, if I'm staying after school, I might as well get a few more children.
I'm already in trouble. I love that. I love that. So, considering that acting gave you something kind of special that you could wield and touch people with, do you have a favorite form of acting, whether that's on stage or with your voice?
Well, I think, I love being on camera and on stage. There's a magic there. But voiceover has always been my ability, you know. And as a kid, I could impersonate animals, and I could do sounds. It's kind of like there was an old comic book called Gerald McBoing Boing. I know that book actually. I do. Gerald McBoing Boing, everyone, was a character that could do sounds. Like if there was a bank robbery going on, he could do a policeman. He'd foil the bank robbers. Or he could do a train going by, and this little guy with this huge train sound coming out. And this guy is silly. But nonetheless, you know, your imagination flies. Well, let me try to.
Of course.
But I did cows and horses and pigs and chickens. And, you know.
Which animal was your favorite sound to make?
At the time, when I was younger, I could really do a good horse, but I haven't done it.
No, that's why Optimus Prime has true horsepower right here. You see? Come on now, horsepower. Did you do the animal sounds in school? Is that what got you?
Oh, yeah. I would impersonate the teachers as well.
Oh.
One day I was impersonating the teacher in front of all the kids, and I looked towards them, and they were all looking at the front door. The door had a glass face on it. I'm looking at them, and I finally looked there, and there was the teacher with the principal. Oh, man.
That's a good audience. The principal down. Yeah, everyone wants to see you perform because you are amazing. My last question before we open it up to some of your fans here. The audition process for Optimus Prime, you have such an amazing story with that, but it opens up the door for you to become this character and work with some other stellar voice actors. Do you have any favorite stories of some of the voice actors that you've gotten to work with as Optimus?
Well, let me just say generally, working on G1 with Frank Welker here too. The actors were so talented, generally speaking, and for the couple of years that I did Generation 1, it was fun. I mean, the sessions were really enjoyable.
Of course.
there'll be laughter, constant laughter. Frank would be capable of doing sounds. You know, he could do a leaky water faucet. you know.
And you're like, what is that?
Frank. There's so many other things he can say. Are we going to do that line again? Because there's something going on in here. The director would say, Frank. But generally speaking, we have a lot of fun.
That's awesome.
So it was a creative process between the lines.
That's a good workload, I think. That's kind of perfect. So just to clarify for you guys, we can talk about TV shows. So if it was TV, we can talk about it, except for that one that you were asking about, that spoiler we cannot really talk about.
No Invincible?
We can't talk about that. But let's try not to go too deep into the weeds. We can talk about these things. So our first question. Hello, friend.
Hey, I'm Ryan. I've been a big fan of Transformers since I was a kid. I know this may be sacrilege to ask, but what, besides Optimus, who's your favorite Transformer?
Who is your favorite Transformer besides Optimus? Is there even a thing that you can have? Yeah, good choice. Yeah, I like that. Do you have another favorite?
Well, he's on my hat.
Bumblebee. Okay, I like it. Good call. Good call. I like it. How many Bumblebee fans do you have there? Excellent. Excellent. Love it. Great question. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate it. Thank you. Hello, friend. There you go.
Okay, then. It's about a question about, well, I guess I'll try to phrase it carefully with the rules or something like that. A clinically depressed stuffed equine.
Okay.
How did you feel when that character was, the voice of the character was instead done by Brad Garrett and cartoonist Bud Luckey in some of the recent appearances of that depressed equine?
So I'm gonna risk it. He's asking about Eeyore. Let's say where Eeyore's from. This is a comedian by Eeyore. But some other actors have done Eeyore's portrayal. Did you enjoy it?
I did.
Do you often get to enjoy other people's portrayals or takes on characters that you work with? Do you get to enjoy that?
No.
They should have called you, of course.
I interpreted that as you saying, do I enjoy listening to people that impersonate me?
Well, I mean, we have to try to impersonate you. One, we're not you, and you are the great. So that kind of, am I wrong?
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
So thank you for that question. Hello, friend. How are you?
I'm doing well. Hi, are you Mr. Peter? I'm Patrick. We met yesterday at the panel, the experience downstairs. And, you know, I don't know when I'll ever get this opportunity again, so in my mind, I have to ask myself, what, if I were to ask one question, what would it be? And to you, sir, I would ask, what does Optimus Prime mean to you?
Great question. What does Optimus mean to you?
Well, it's obvious with the interpretation of the character coming from me and Larry, there's a lot of love. I mean, love, which is to him, that's brotherly love, and the sense of responsibility that I have is very deep, and I treasure that. I stand up for that character under any condition. I will not say some lines, I won't say some words. I said he would not say that. I'm not going to say it. I was forced to say one line a long time ago, and I regretted saying it. But I was made to say it, and I won't go there. But generally speaking, that the affection that I had for my brother I translated into my performance. and I try to convey that with my heart. And I always will.
Thank you very much.
And authenticity you bring to this, and to know that it impacts you like that. It's not just a performance. That is a true space. We all feel it every time, every time. Thank you, sir.
Hey Peter, my name is Ben. Your voice has been such a big part of our youth. I want to ask you, you were the voice of Mario in his very earliest days in an old cartoon. And that makes me wonder, have you gotten to meet Charles Martinet or share a photo with him or record like a little TikTok video, Instagram video saying, hey, it's me, Mario, and Mario?
So Charles Martinet obviously is a very popular voice of Mario, but you did Mario first. And have you guys gotten to meet, hang out, and share stories? No. Okay, we got to figure out how to make that happen. That amazing.
Well, hope you get the opportunity before you leave.
Absolutely. If not this show, we'll do it at another one. But that would be fantastic. Really?
Thank you, Peter.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Hello.
My name is Patricia, and from one Leo to a fellow Leo, happy belated birthday.
Hey, absolutely. Absolutely.
I noticed a lot of voice actors will go over into like audiobooks or radio dramas. Is there a novel that you've always wanted to like record, or if you wanted to do an audio play, is there a character from a play you'd love to do?
That's a great question. Yeah.
You know, I would really love to record something that I have written, you know, and because I truly understand myself better than I understand the author of another book. But if I were to do a book, I could probably do, you know, an action adventure book, you know, where I could do sounds as well, gunshots and explosions. I'd hire Frank Welker and redo the
I think we need that now, right? Let's start doing that right now. I think we get an audiobook series starring Peter Cullen and Frank Welker. That would be amazing. But you guys could literally read the phone book and we would be like, this is amazing. You guys know what a phone book is? I'm sorry. Shrug. He's like, it's a book of phones? I don't know. I got you. Hello, Fred. How are you?
Hi, my name is Brett. I'm a major Transformers fan. I love the joint series, a lot of good stuff. And my question relates to the franchise itself, Transformers as a whole. With the series fast approaching its 40th anniversary.
That's amazing. It makes noise now.
Including MP44, which I have, the Lego Optimus and the Robosen toy. Alongside the toys, other ones, the comics, the cartoon, I have to ask after these 40 years, what do you think the franchise means to us now? How it's been over the past 10 years? What do you think it goes from here?
That's a great question. And to kind of paraphrase it a bit, this was a cartoon series that was built as a commercial for a toy line. And we were just supposed to connect on that level, but I think we all connected on something much deeper and bigger. Was that something that you guys were aware of at the beginning that we were going to get?
No, not really. The concept was huge.
Mm-hmm.
To be able to manipulate a toy, you know, these are not stuffed animals, right? These were practically, you know, engineered, you know, marvels that revolutionized the toy world, of course. And that's the brilliance of Bud Budiansky and people like that, Shooter, and these other great minds. It broke open the doors for animation in a way that we never saw it, of course, in our lifetimes, you know, previous. You know, my favorite characters, you know, were like Hopalong Cassidy and Cowboys. But now you come out with Optimus Prime and Ironhide and Megatron, you know, Starscream, these fabulous characters that you could play with by yourself. We had multiple characters. This was a huge change in the animation industry Has been since
40 years, yes.
40 years and growing.
Mm-hmm.
Look at our feature films and the artificial intelligence and
Now, where do you think Transformers as a franchise could go with the fan base? Would we get different toys, more toys? Do you think it would communicate a different message 40 years later than it did back then?
who knows?
That's a fair statement. That's a very fair statement. I'm curious, where do you think it will take us?
I think it might be more of a more advanced approach because I know there's the missing link toys coming out that were rumored. Ones that are more articulated G1 toys. I heard about that online. So I think we can all go forward with those toys and the comics that are coming soon, the cartoon, being an influence and legacy. With characters like Conway, I have masterpiece toys, a lot of them.
Right.
I have Front, I have Bumblebee, Wheeljack, the new Skyfire. It all means a lot to us too. We cherish these moments, whether in plastic, on paper, or on the screen.
Absolutely.
It means a lot to us, the pastors, and we thank you very much for being here.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
For all our lives.
That's what I think we can take Transformers into the future. That model is everything. Hello, Frank. How you doing? Good.
Hello, my name is Cooper. I've been a fan of Transformers for many years, especially Optimus Prime, as you can see here.
Absolutely.
Many years. My fandom especially began kicking in as soon as I heard that Transformers Rise of the Beast was going to come out. You were great in that movie. And I just want to ask you, there was a time where you didn't voice Optimus Prime for like 30 years or more, between the movie and the 1986 movie. What was it like or how did it feel to return as Optimus Prime after all these years?
That's a great question.
I described this to someone once. I said, getting back into the Optimus Prime character, I said it was like finding an old pair of comfortable shoes that you put in the back of your closet you hadn't worn for years. You had forgotten about them. You just took it out, put them on, and say, why did I put them in the back of the closet? These are nice. I like these shoes, you know. And that's pretty much what it was. It was like slipping on a very comfortable old shoes.
Love that. That's awesome. Hello.
Hi, I'm Joe. I've been a fan of Transformers since I was like in 5th grade. And as you can tell, my favorite is Ironhide.
Aw, gee whiz. Come on. Don't say it, Ironhide. Don't say it. Oh, come on, Prime.
I was wondering, what was your favorite part of playing Ironhide, and would you play him again?
Sure. It was fun. He was fun. We did a lot of ad libbing, and it was fun to kind of tease the line of good taste. Generally speaking, he was a bit crude and I could safely sometimes.
Yeah, Ironhide's oil was a little thick. You can say some things. Yeah. That's awesome. What was one of your favorites of Ironhide?
In general?
Yep.
Everything?
Everything. That's more than favorite. No, I totally appreciate that. Thank you very much.
Yeah, that's cool.
Thank you.
I agree.
Now, I can say, because we have the line, we're going to ask somebody else to jump in the question line. Just make sure that we can get to everybody. Go ahead.
Hi.
Take your time.
I've been a huge fan as well since the 2007. I've actually moved, but your G1 iteration was so much better. And it's been more inspiring, just like how your brother was to you. And I wanted to know how the other actors back in the G1 series, besides Frank Welker, how they felt about or how they. Sorry.
It's all right. It's all right.
How they felt when you were playing Optimus Prime, and how it kind of grew from there.
I think that's a really good question. What was your portrayal as inspiring to your fellow voice actors as it clearly is to us?
I killed off in the movie. If you'd asked me that question then, I would have said, is it something I said? Why am I getting the axe, you know? What did I do? Who did I disturb? But in fact, the answer was make room for more toys. You know, let's get another toy in here. So, I didn't have a thermometer. I know that, generally speaking, you know, actors just don't go around telling each other how great they are.
They should, though.
Are you gonna sing?
You think you're so awesome. That's what we say all the time.
But yeah, there was no thermometer. There was no way of, you know, we didn't get fan mail on. There was no internet. There was no. The only thing we had was any technical was like, if you didn't have a real phone, you had a party line. You could hear other people who were on the same lines, they had the same phone numbers. You know, at least they did in Canada.
That's amazing.
We used to listen in all the time. So,
It was that same feeling, that same question about the Prime series as well. I don't know, that was where it's a risky question to ask that.
No, I mean, I think it's a fair question overall. Just every time that you come back to play Prime, do you find that the people that you're working with are even more familiar with your work as Prime? That's fair. No, he's focused. He's like, I'm not even paying attention to the rest of the guys. I'm here to do the job. That's what it is. Thank you for that, Joe. Great job. Great job.
I'm sure I couldn't go.
Alright, so we're down to like our last 5 minutes, so we'll try to get through as many as we can. Hello.
Hello, how are you doing today?
Thanks.
My name is Alex Lee, from the list that I'm very young. When I was actually born during the first Transformers movie came out. And ever since then, thanks to my father today, I love Transformers ever since then. And especially today from my lack of bank account. All over too much on Transformers. And you, Mr. Cullen, have taught me how to be a selfless person that put others before something I want to do for my life.
That's wonderful.
And the question I want to ask you is, how do you feel having that coming from Michael Bay, you've gone back a number of times to before that, never started first, and how do you feel about that new beginning?
Are you asking about the movies? We can't talk about the movies. Can't talk about the movies.
Can I ask a different question?
Real quick.
What's your favorite quote that Alex Armstrong's ever said? The most influential, the strongest quote that you think?
What is your favorite Optimus Prime quote?
To all are one.
Hello.
Hello, I'm Asher. I've been a huge Transformers fan all my life, and I would just like to ask, when you first got the Optimus Prime role, did you think you would still be doing that role like decades later? And what was your reaction when you got the Optimus Prime role?
That's a good question. So when you started doing Optimus, how long did you think that would last?
Well, that's a good question. I was surprised when the movie came along and I tell that story with Frank, you know, I look at this and we're going through the script for the movie and I say, Frank, look at this, page 17, I'm getting smacked. Old expression for white cow. What are you talking about? Oh, I'm in a death scene here. No, he's gone. He's gone. You sure he's gone here? Well, I better check up on
Just in case.
Yeah, I don't know. What was the other part of that question? It was a great question.
Yeah, needing to come back to it. Considering that you attended that scene in '86, but you've been brought back so many different times.
Well, I was brought back for 2 more shows because I was told, not at the time, I was told years later that children were hiding in closets, they were under their bed, they wouldn't come out. That was the bed. They were traumatized. Mothers were calling the production companies, the TV stations. I didn't think about that either. So I did have to come back.
Of course.
Well, they were already in production making these other characters, you know, spending all kinds of money the manufacturing of them. So it was, check it out, that's good. The new toys are coming in, let's get through. The new toys, get rid of the old toys. Well, it was all those years later when I did the first Michael Bay film. That's a long time. That's a long time. But like I said, the old pair of shoes, comfortable, you know, slipped right into it. I had to audition for it.
What? You know, we can't talk about those things, but I would go. You better not have to audition for Optimus Prime. You are Optimus.
So the real thank you goes to you, to all of you, the internet. If it weren't for your communicating with each other and having the big wheels, you know, start paying attention, I never would have been brought back. There are so many other actors that wanted to play the role. And if it weren't for you, I would not be Optimus Prime.
Well, makes sense.
I'm going to sign at the booth.
Excellent. So if you guys do have a question, I would advise you to go downstairs, ask directly. Ask directly, and you'll get a chance to speak to the man himself. But before we get out of here, sir, I believe we have some marching orders that you have to give us in order for us to leave effectively. We can't leave this panel until you tell us how we're going to leave this panel.
Autobots, transform and roll out!